the librarian, was good throughout the book. She never became evil. And when I did the revision and I realized that something had to change and she needed to take on a role that would carry through the rest of the book, she needed to be a much more villain because of all sorts of reasons that I won't explain right now. It was alarming to me how almost easy and fun it was to turn her into a villain. I realized that I had almost planted all these seeds, maybe subconsciously, that it was already there, that there was something about her that was a little bit strange or off that I hadn't seen in the first draft. So it was really great to go back and make her an absolute horrible villain.
So in the books you go from different locales. In the first book you were in Savannah. The second book you were in California. Why those places? Is there any special reason why you picked those places? Does that have any significance for you?
Both of them do. I went to college not far from Savannah, and every time I would go and visit Savannah, the city, it felt like it stuck to me. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with the sticky feeling of a humid city. But I mean almost more than that. Savannah is very humid, like it is here, but it's there's something about it it's very haunting. It's very lovely, but it's also you kind of feel like if you turn down a corner, you could see a ghost. And I always wanted to write about Savannah from the first couple of times that I went to visit it. So I like the idea that there's both beauty and darkness in it, and so that seemed to suit Luz's character. When it came time to write Torment, and I knew she had to be in a new setting, I had actually recently been to Fort Bragg on the northern coast of California, and it's where my husband and I got engaged. And it's a very mysterious, foggy, kind of dark place, but it was also, for me, a really romantic setting. So I thought that was another, it was well suited to switch her into that setting. And Passion is full of varied settings with lots of dark romance too.
So Passion doesn't take place in just one locale? No,
every chapter is a new country, a new century, and a whole new life.
Interesting. Okay. I'm getting excited already about the third book.
It's going to be a good one.
So speaking of exciting, are there any plans to make the series into a movie?
There are. The film rights have been optioned by Disney, and when I say that in America, everybody recoils and covers their ears and flinches because they think that it means it's going to be a cartoon or Miley Cyrus is going to be in it or something. No, don't worry. Yeah. There's a production company within Disney that's in charge of kind of their darker, more mature, edgier things, and so they're heading up the project, and I think they're on the third draft of a script right now, so they're moving forward, and I think 2012 is when they're scheduled to release it.
Do you have any say at all on who the cast is going to be? And if you did, who would the cast be, if you could choose? Who would Luz be?
Lucy Hale. I like Lucy Hale. She's in Pretty Little Liars, which I hear you guys just recently got, which is an awesome show. And I like Ed Westwick for Cam.
Okay, that's gonna work. That's gonna work. How about Daniel? Who's gonna play Daniel?
I've never had a Daniel in mind. The producers have told me they're interested in Liam Hemsworth.
Are you familiar with Liam Hemsworth? Okay, is he okay? You like him for Daniel?
No.
No, obviously
no. I have to take this word back to them. The Philippines said no.
Oh, and we happen to be, are we still the third most movie-going public in the world?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's important statistics for me to have.
So you have to tell them that we said no. How involved are you in the screenplay for the movie?
They have, well, I asked originally if I could write the screenplay, and they laughed at me. They said only Stephen King gets to do that. So someday I'm going to write my own screenplays. But they found two screenwriters. That's two women who are a team, and I'm hoping I'll get to read a draft when they've got it all finalized and weigh in. I'll be a consultant on the film, but I don't know anything about making a movie, and so I'm trusting a lot that they'll do a great job.
Yeah, they have to do a great job because the audience in the Philippines is not going to watch it if they don't do a good job. So let's go back to some of your influences. What are the top 3 paranormal books on your list? Or movies, if you don't have enough books.
Well, one of my favorite, this is not paranormal, but to me it's paranormal. I think magical realism is maybe a predecessor to paranormal fiction that I don't know if is acknowledged enough, the connection between it. But Gabriel Garcia Marquez is one of my favorites. I think 100 Years of Solitude. The beauty in that book is a big inspiration for me. I just read a book called Tender Morsels by an Australian author named Margot Lanigan. And it really taught me a lot about sort of alternate universes and what you can do outside of the realm of reality. The third one, probably Philip Pullman. I mean, I think he just sort of nails every single thing he does.
How do you see the future of the paranormal urban fantasy genre? Do you think, I mean, you're in the writing business, so you must have a feel for what the direction is going to be for this genre. Is it slowing down? Will there be more books coming out on this topic, or? You know?
I haven't seen any signs of it slowing down. I mean, it just seems to be getting bigger and more interesting and a much more exciting place to be writing and to be reading all the time. So, I mean, I think we all have a really bright future to look forward to. Lots more books, lots more stories.
Will you be writing more books in this genre?
I have a plan after the fourth book in the series is called Rapture, and that's supposed to come out early 2012. And I have a seed of an idea for a new series that I'm kind of developing and growing in my head that I'm very excited about.
And it's also going to be in the same category.
It is. Yeah, it'll be a teen romance kind of alternate reality.
Speaking of your next book, which is Passion, can you give us any hints on what's going to happen there? What will it focus on?
Well, I've told you a bit about the kind of changes in setting. Passion is the book where Luce goes back and sees everything about her past. So she's basically going back, finding the lifetimes where something monumental happened that she needs to revisit and remember. And she links up with Daniel in every lifetime. She learns about herself in every lifetime. It's a really romantic kind of voyage book, and it's a big departure from Fallen and Torment, but I think it's the most exciting book so far. I'm really excited about it.
More romance,
lots of passion,
lots of passion between Daniel and so that side of the story develops more in Passion. When will that be out?
June 14th, I believe.
June 14th in the U.S. and it'll be out in the Philippines also more or less the same time. Okay, so we come back to Power Books for that, for those books. So I'm out of questions for Lauren, but I'm sure that you may have some questions. So we'd like to take some questions from our guests today. We'll take 3 or 4 questions from the floor. There are some people from Power Books who will be passing around the microphone. At the back, please. Yes. You are?
Hi, I'm Lizzie.
Hi, Lizzie.
Hi. I really like your books, and you said that this is a 4-book type of thing, and then you have a different idea for another series. Would you ever sort of just go into, how will I call it, like a series that's just like probably a book about Ariane, a book about Cam, sort of like just their story and expand on who they are?
Yeah, I've definitely talked to that with my agent. Talked about that with my agent so far, and it would be thrilling for me to write a whole book from Cam's point of view, Cam's side of the story, and Ariane would be the next best bet for that. So I would love to write those books, maybe someday. Yeah.
Yeah, this is brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you. Over there.
Hi Lauren, my name is Tweet.
Tweet.
Hi. Question. Did the book, like the process of it, did you experience any kind of drama? Meaning, did you submit and it got rejected, or it got changed, you sent it to an editor, and then they came back to you and said, change some parts?
There's definitely a big revision process once I sold it to my editor, but personally, revision to me is one of the most thrilling parts about writing. The first drafts are really hard for me to write, but I love once I get to share it with my agent or my editor and get feedback and kind of go back and re-look at everything and make changes to make the book more like what it wants to be, I think, and what it's trying to be in the first draft. So I wouldn't call that part drama. It's definitely, it's hard work to do that second draft and get that feedback, but I recognize how important and necessary it is. I've sent out 2 other novels before Fallen to lots of editors and lots of agents, and got lots and lots of rejections. So there was, I wouldn't call that drama either. I would just call that maybe, I don't know, sort of necessary growing pains and sort of the groundwork that I had to do before I could sell Fallen. But once I wrote Fallen, my publishing process from then on was smoother. I mean, we sold the book the first time we tried to, my agent and I, so I think I went through all the trauma before that, so I could be prepared for this.
So you're saying that you've gotten used to it already? You've gotten used to the, I mean, I think it's part of a writer's life, right? Rejection. You've gotten used to people telling you, change this, or, you know, make this character this way.
Yeah, I mean, I expect it and rely on it.
And you've had no ego issues there? I mean, because I'm sure these characters, these are mine.
Yeah, occasionally, I mean, you know, you just press back and I'll say, I understand what you're asking me to do, it doesn't feel right, and so I'm going to... What that often means, I think, when I write something one way and the editor says, change it to be this way, and I don't want it to change it to be that way, I think what it means is not that I have to change it to their way, but instead I have to tell it better. Like, I'm not doing enough on my end. Something is confusing or feels strange to them about it. So what I've got to do if I want to stick with it is just make it better. So I've recognized how to do that. And I don't think, at least I don't have any ego issues, because